Hi everyone and welcome back to the FIFA 23 Newcastle United career mode. Of course, we're going to continue with the season. It's going to be the first highlight form video today. We're going to have a bunch of games played in highlight form, as I said. So it's obviously going to start with Everton and Brighton there at the end of October. Then we move into November where we play Tottenham, Fulham, Bournemouth, and then Southampton. And then in December, I think I'm going to get essentially all the games done. So it's going to be a really big highlight session. We're going to have Leicester away, Wolves, Anfield, and then Arsenal a few days later, and then Palace and Wolves to end it. And then we enter January, where I may or may not be looking to do a few things, but we'll see. For now, though, we're going to kick it off with this game against Everton, and from there on out, the highlights will just roll. So we begin the highlights with a trip to Goodison Park, which is always going to be a tough fixture, and that proved to be the case. 8 minutes in, we go 1-0 down, and I've just been getting snaps. That's my bad. Wilson makes it 1-1, thankfully, though, a couple minutes later. So, bit of a back-and-forth start to the game, and then about 10 minutes out from half-time, Almiron cuts inside, does really well, and almost a good goal from Saint-Maximin, but it's a good save from the keeper. And then Mitrovic does this. He's just given too much time in the box, and he's very clinical with his finish. 2-1 to Everton, not looking good. Willock here running through the middle, and it gets saved, unfortunately, by Pickford. Not long left now. We have to take our chances. We're getting quite a few of them. With 3 minutes to go, we play it on the right-hand side. Joel Linton knocks it across, and Wilson puts it in the back of the net with a minute and a half left of remaining regular time. So we'll take the point at Goodison Park, especially since we went down by a goal at 2 different points in the game. Again, we'll take it. Next up, it was Brighton and Hove Albion, and we get very lucky here. Nothing lucky about the finish, though. Isak makes it 1-0 to the Magpies. That's exactly what we want. And then the ball finds itself in the feet of Callum Wilson, and I was going to shoot with him, but I just took it a bit too far wide, and I tried to knock it back short, but it ended up going all the way to Saint-Maximin, who scored. Unfortunately, we concede just before half-time. And then in the second half, we have a very good start. Wilson just hits his shot wide, and unfortunately, I get Alexander Isak sent off. Absolutely stupid. I mean, I'm just not a very good FIFA player at the end of the day, but thankfully, it didn't hinder us too much. This ball over to Wilson, who gets another assist here as he knocks it back for Miguel Almiron, who makes it 3-1, essentially sealing the 3 points. And that's exactly what we got at the end of the game. So after scoring, Isak got sent off like 5 minutes into the second half, but we managed to not even hold on. We just managed to extend our lead, which is amazing. But what wasn't amazing is this decision from the ref. Cher gets the ball, and apparently it's a penalty and red card. So, yeah, after that, the ref just, I can't believe it. But, as I was saying, after that, we completely capitulated. I mean, I don't know. You guys can just watch this for yourself, really. We concede 2 to Harry Kane nice and early on, and then they get so lucky here. But it is a good finish from Kulusevski, in fairness. He makes it 3-0, and then for some reason, I can't even get the words out. I'm so frustrated. 4-0, you guys saw what happened, and you saw that I was trying to pass to my fullback, and you saw that that didn't happen. I was so frustrated that I jumped to the result at like half-time. We lost 5-0. Just get me out of there. Next up, it was Fulham at home, and literally the most dead game I've ever played. That was the only chance the whole match. I mean, I literally could not get content out of it. I mean, that just says it all there. 2 shots to none, 53% possession. Oh, that zoomed in as well. My bad. Poor editing from me. Anyway, 0-0, of course. I sinned a game against Bournemouth. We actually lost. So, yeah, not exactly great. I don't sim many games, you guys know. But that was one that I did, and I probably should have played it. Either way, the way I'm playing right now, you wouldn't think that we'd get the win in it anyway, would you? Murphy got very unlucky there not to score, but then it's great link-up play from the lads here, and eventually Murphy with a first-time cross, look at that, right on the noggin of Alexander Isak, who gets another goal, which is very, very good to see. He's potentially starting to find a little bit of form, a little bit of momentum. That'll be good from our main striker. Then the ball finds its way through here with 20 minutes to go to some random guy, and he makes it 1-1, which is obviously good for Southampton, not great for us. and they ended the game pretty strong. They had a chance here saved by Pope, just about, and then they had another chance within that same play blocked by Dan Burn, last ditch defending. They win the header here and Pope makes another save. We ended the game very uncomfortably, but Nick Pope, as much as he's got a big mistake in him, he also has a lot of good saves in him. And I've stuffed up the zoom again here. I do apologise, guys. I'm an idiot. Anyway, we drew 1-1 to Southampton, which isn't exactly an ideal result. Against Leicester here, we came very close to opening the scoring with Alan Saint-Maximin. And then with 5 minutes left to go in the half, it's Tielemans who knocks it on to Nampalys Mendy. And this is what I'm talking about. Pope might have a good save in him, but he's also got a mistake in him. And he lets that one go straight through his hands. Isak squanders a huge chance. That's very frustrating. And then he has another chance here, but this one just hits the bar. Very, very unlucky from Alexander Isak. He turns his man again here, and that one's wide. That's not a good finish. It's very frustrating. Joelinton then takes it around the right-hand side. Pretty much the first decent thing he's done all season. But Murphy decides to just header it straight at the keeper. And then Wood does the same thing in literally the last kick of the game. He passes it to the freaking keeper. So we lose that one 1-0. I mean, talk about frustration. We were on top as well against a very good Leicester side. So don't want to talk about it. Let's move on. We had Wolves at home in the next one. And we get off to a good start here. It's a bit jammy. But Isak, right place, right time from the corner bobble or the corner scrap that we were having there, and he puts it in the back of the net, which is all we can ask from our main striker. And after a tough run of form, the ball finds its way out here to Almiron, and as he scores, we seal the win. Not only is it a win, but it's a clean sheet at home, which is important for that stupid objective we have. And it did end 2-0, which is again a good result, clean sheet. It's just a big win for us in a tough patch. And yeah, this one against Liverpool, I mean, we start so well. Almiron cuts it back here to Willock, which you can't really see because of the glitch, but I did put in the highlight here, the replay, sorry, as Willock knocks it in the back of the net. That's his second goal of the season, I think. But after that, I mean, we didn't even have another sniff. James Milner, of all people, brought it back to 1-1, and then in the second half, Diaz gets so jammy here, and he knocks it in the back of the net. And then Milner playing the 1-2 there. He has a shot which is saved by Pope. So, you know, that's pretty much the only save we made in the second half. Nunez bags here on the hour mark to make it 3-1. And they bag a fourth, and it is James Milner with a brace. I mean, that's quite frankly rude. I don't ever want to see that game again. We get smashed at Anfield. It's not as bad as 5-0 against Tottenham, but 4-1 is still not an ideal result. I wasn't expecting to get points, but, you know, here's a game we probably could have got points in. Arsenal, who aren't doing well at the moment in my save, or weren't at the time of recording this game anyway, we opened the scoring just like we did at Anfield with a goal 7 minutes in from Alexander Isak, who's doing very well for us in these highlights at the moment. Well, considering we just don't score goals much. Calvert-Lewin, though, good Christ, what a hit. I was very, very surprised that went in. I remember my jaw literally dropped past the mic and everything. I then simmed a game. We got the draw against Arsenal, by the way. And then I simmed a game. We got another 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace. That was the last game I simmed for the highlights. And this was the last game I played for the highlights. It was at the Molineux. And this was a good way to round off what has been a very frustrating run of form. We put the ball on the left here. Saint-Maximin knocks it across. And Isak is at it again, which is really, really good. You know, hopefully he can turn into a bit more of a prolific striker as the season goes on, get some consistency under his belt. But we get the 1-0 win, a clean sheet away from home. I don't think we've actually got one this season up until now, which is pretty bad. But that's it for these highlights. So certainly a mixed bag of results in that batch of games. You know, we won a couple, but ultimately it wasn't really a good run of form at all. But we find ourselves 12th in the Premier League table with a goal difference of -7. We've won and drawn 6. And lost 8. So we're a bit below where we want to be. Arsenal, they're in 10th. Let's actually take a bit of a deeper look at the Premier League table, see if there's any surprises for where teams are currently sitting. Liverpool are absolutely killing it at the top of the league, along with Manchester United and Villa in 3rd. So losing to them at the start of the season doesn't feel as terrible, given that they are currently 3 points away from second place Manchester United. West Ham, they're in the top 5 as well. City are in 7th. It's crazy that City are not, like, undefeated. top of the league, you know. I mean, in real life right now, they're still undefeated, but they're not top of the league. Arsenal are, but you know, City just they're breaking football with the team they have now. You know, they're 2 points ahead of Everton. That is crazy. Ah well, down in the good to see Bournemouth at 16. Down in the relegation zone, you've got Leeds and Brighton there on 15 points, and just above them is Nottingham Forest, who have clearly strung a bit of a win streak together in some respect. Yeah, so it's not looking, definite for who gets relegated. It's not looking definite for the Premier League title, but Liverpool have a healthy 8-point gap over United. So very, very interesting stuff. We are in the January transfer window now. Our first game is against Leicester, who are currently, I think they were 8th or ninth, something like that, and they have 27 points, so they're doing a little bit better than us. And it is the January transfer window, like I said. So do I want to do something with this squad? Yes, I do. I'm not enjoying the two up top. I'll say it now. It sometimes offers us, good numbers going forward. But at the end of the day, I don't see this team without an attacking midfielder. So I want to play with an attacking midfielder. Now, that might look like converting Willock to a cam and playing him there, or maybe bringing one in. But ultimately, as much as I'm sitting here saying, oh yeah, attacking midfielder, this attacking midfielder, that, I'm not actually looking to get one at this point. But yes, I do have some intentions for this January transfer window, which we're not going to act upon right now. But I've got some ambitions for next episode. So I have a lot of centre-backs scouted, okay? The first one is a bit unrealistic, not because of anything except for how good he is. Fikayo Tomori, is it realistic he could potentially come back to England for a top team? Yes. But are we a top team right now? No. We're 12th in the Premier League on the 1st of January. And plus, he would be over our entire transfer budget. So I've I guess they're realistic. I've put some... He'd probably be most of our budget. I've also put some more realistic centre-back signings in. So Botman, I'm not a fan. Okay, this guy is slow. He's unreliable. He is just so clunky. We've got, who's the other centre back? Fabian Schär. He's okay. He's pretty decent, and Dan Burn's done all right. But do I want a centre back partnership of Dan Burn and Fabian Schär? No, of course I don't. So I'm looking at Jurrien Timber, who is obviously a very good centre back. He's versatile. He's quick there, as you can see, 79 acceleration, 87 sprint speed. We've got this young, he's 21 by the way, it's the same age as Gonçalo Inácio. He is a centre-back from Portugal playing for Sporting Lisbon. He's a pretty quick centre-back as well, which is, obviously I need pace at the back, so that's why I've shortlisted him. He's a left-footed centre-back as well. So then you've got Ezri Konsa, who's a bit more of like a brick wall, just a solid unit of a player. He wouldn't be too expensive. He's relatively quick. He's not got the 50 pace that Schär, Burn, and Botman have. So, he's obviously a player I'd look at. And then Ben Godfrey, used to be a very popular choice in career mode now. He's 24. He's not getting on or anything, but he's a left-sided centre-back. So I've shortlisted these two Englishmen. They could come in. Obviously you want to have a few English players in your Premier League squad. And Godfrey's a very good player. 92 sprint speed is incredible. So I've got 4 centre-backs here who are all decent with their pace. Obviously, Tomori is just a bit unrealistic at this point in time. Not that Timber would be terribly realistic, but Newcastle have been getting like good young players who are at clubs, in not like lower leagues or anything, just clubs that aren't quite up there with the top teams in the Prem. Like Bruno Guimaraes, who was signed from Sporting, I believe it was. You look at Isaac, who was signed from Sociedad. So they're just 2 examples, right? Konsa, obviously, Cash was signed from Villa, so it wouldn't be a terribly unrealistic signing. And I think Godfrey, that's not unrealistic either. He's not at a top 6 team, so I don't think these 4 signings here would be unrealistic like Tomori at this point in time. So I'd love to bring one of these guys in. You guys let me know down below who you would like me to sign. I've got a few midfielders listed as well. I don't think for January it does. I might though. I might make some midfield signings. Thomas Lemar is injury prone, so I'm very hesitant to go for him. I just shortlisted him because he didn't have long on his contract. He also has a release clause, but that's quite high. We have this guy who's not much of a generic signing or anything, 24 years of age, 4-star skills, centre mid from Croatia, 81 rated, Lovro Majer, a left-footed centre midfielder as well. he could be very, very decent. And just as a bit of a, something to keep our eye on, we have this guy, Alberto Malero. I'd definitely call him Molly if we signed him. I just would. 5'7". He was in my top 10 teenagers in FIFA 23 career mode, and he's an absolute beast. They're already setting an asking price of 21 million, yet they have a release clause of 18.9 on him. So I'm definitely, like I said, I'm keeping my eye on Alberto Malero. Again, it's not terribly unrealistic. He's a young prospect at a lesser club, like UD Las Palmas. He would be incredible. I'd love to have him. Only issue is he plays in the same position as Alan, so Maximan, and I've really enjoyed using him this season. So he sort of pushed the idea in my head that we could potentially use a cam, because obviously there his third position is attacking mid. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Like I said, I want to keep my eye on that. But yeah, give me feedback down below. That would be much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like it would be great. Subscribe. And yeah, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.